And a very good morning to every one of you. Once again, tuned in
television. You can also watch it on Facebook at Joy 997 and also on YouTube. If you missed the beginning of this conversation, trust me, you've missed a bit, but you can still catch up on all these platforms so that you are able to learn. Especially so for you who is planning to begin working together with your spouse. For a lot of people, or lots of married people, that's the next thing. We want to build this empire together, and we see that happening a lot with the pastors.
There are lots of people who listen to us, they tune into the show, they send you messages and they go like, look, when I listen to all these stories, sometimes I just want to be single. But no, there are some very beautiful and thriving marriages out there. And like I said, we will be sharing some of these stories just so you know that yours can equally be beautiful. Today's conversation, call it a personal agenda, and you won't be wrong, because I have known, if I have been married for, let's say, almost 19 years, I picked up a few things, let me share those with you. Now, first you will have to make that decision, and I dare say that the decision or the reason you made that decision long before I got married, I have conversations about marriage with them, learned so much with them, and let me chip in that at my wedding eventually, you will Auntie Kate, whom I will introduce to you very soon, the dreams together, so you are not selfish. So you understand now, when I say that it's a personal agenda. You will also have to have come this far into consideration, and I have also come this far in marriage, because they have been there from the traditional marriage to the wedding itself, the birth of the children and all that. It's just that I know they haven't seen the children in a very long time. We'll plan that very soon. I am going to be having a conversation with Edem Knight-Tay and his beautiful spouse, you're likely to crash. I like to call her now Auntie Kate. What do you? So you will be hearing me doing Katie, Auntie Kate, and all that is the same person. Don't be confused at all. Ivan and Auntie Kate, good morning. You're welcome to Home. Good morning. Oh wow! Seeing you guys, it's just like, well, Ivan, I still remember the first time you walked into our classroom at NAFTI. Yeah, the God and Auntie Kate, I remember the very first time I walked into the house where Farmhouse began. Say it is my temperament. No, temperaments can be controlled, and God has given us the strength to do that. Running around and all that, and we'll be getting into all that very soon. But I am so happy that when you're on this journey, you will make compromises. Thank you for being now. You also have to take up the spirit of patience. So let me start the spirit of understanding. How long have we been? The God factor now is key, and understand if it means that there has to be somebody there, like you go to the hospital, but it's interesting because there's a doctor who is doing a critical examination and all that. They always ensure that there is a nurse. It's interesting that you remember sometimes for your own know that so nobody comes to say that you harassed them. So it means that need I get it now, and I know you celebrate your birthday with one of your daughters, and to assure your partner. Okay, so I mean, these I respect you, and I think very divine dates that you can't forget. Anyway, we will be focusing a lot more on the two of you working together. Let me remind us that the rich taste of Dano milk makes a perfect combination with your tea. Oats has been soakings, cocoa. That one thing that to give you that great taste union together, because I started Dano milk is a rich source of natural protein and fortified with vitamin A. Right now. It has several other vitamins and essential nutrients that keeps you strong and healthy every day. I see the glow. Dano milk is also rich in protein, which nourishes and grows your muscles. In actual fact, it makes it easier when there's it contains iodine, which also nourishes the brain to maintain and improve brain function. And the good thing about it is one word, and it has vitamin B12. I decided to take interest in what he does, system and keeps you healthy and strong. It contains everything he does, and I got myself gives you and your family strong. To God be the glory. We're working together. Choose Dano milk because 100% of our milk is sourced from our farms in Europe. So we control the entire production process to ensure that the milk that gets to you keeps its natural quality. Dano milk is natural. Dano milk comes in different variants. The Dano milk cool cow or plain powdered milk, Dano milk coffee 3-in-1.
Dano Milk Chocolate 3-in-1 and Dano Milk Evaporated Milk. So Dano Milk is affordable and in a shop near you. Choose tasty milk, choose nourishment, choose Dano Milk. Dano Milk, just go for it. And Yum Vita Infant Cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, calcium, to aid in baby's health. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and for rice, friendship has been in, and 3 unique pack sizes. Talk about the 50-gram, 400-gram, 350-gram, come rain or shine, hell or high water. We are in it together. We'll make it the pack size that best suits your family. I mean, no wonder we're celebrating 26 years and counting, and you know. Some of us are also. So let me turn back to Ivan and not doing so I want to find out. Okay, great. I want, in fact, I don't want to. We have 3 of them. Sound like along this journey. So I know it all when it comes to this couple, but at least I have had a little bit of experience with them. 3 children. Was it planned? Is it a decision? Was that what we decided to do from the beginning, or it's just interesting? How again you have couples who you had the first one you wanted to work, second one, third one. Even as individuals, we go through a lot of conflicting moments on our own. Right? I just wake up in the morning what I want to wear. Sometimes I go to work late simply because you're thinking of what to wear, especially if you don't plan the previous day. Then here are a couple, and I think that's a good top up. It's a good top up. That looks like a lot when it comes to. And it's another area I know that you didn't start a lot by working with Ivan, you know. So you had your own dreams and disciplinary measures. How did we come by that decision eventually? Talk about discipline. Now we not necessarily talking whose idea was it, but how we both. Okay, whose idea was it? Okay, methods. When I used to have my kids, one of punitive measures and disciplinary measures you want to put in place for the children. Finding time and for the longest time, you still realize that at the years you get to bond with your child. Couples are different. If you when it comes to these things, how have somebody else, you won't get to know your child because you're able to train the child the way you want the child to grow from the beginning. I had the first, I decided I won't work again because I was working for a private company called CJA Consult. And when I was done, because they trained me, it was a UK company, they realized I was at home and then I stayed with the child, the first Kekeli for a year. Started school, got him to go to creche or nursery close to the office so that I could pick him up after work. Then I had the second, I said I wasn't working again, I'm staying home, looking after the child. Then again, a year and a half, the company is calling me, coming back. Then I decided to go. Then the third came and I said, nah, this time around, I'm not going back. So when I said I wasn't going back, then I decided to find something I could do for myself. And Ivan knows me very well. So I decided to start doing beads. CQs. I remember. So we are the pioneers, when it comes to bead making. I still have some beads from then, I was telling you. Yeah, so I started that. And you believe it, that Ivan was the one who took me to Kathy Dagadu. She had started way back. Got me 2 books to enhance my knowledge about the beading. Took me to Adam, we got some local beads. Then I got a shop. One of the office rooms here actually was the shop. Yes. And then we started doing that. I started doing that. I did that with gold and some silver. Oh dear. That worked very well. Then somewhere along the line, Ivan was thinking about at home living letters we discussed, and then and we were there when the time came, then you were serious. It was time to start working together. But before then, just when you were an employee for us, we were working in the house. Oh my God! So we started gradually, building it. And then you're going out. You decided that okay, now it's time. And when you're in the room with him, work together. You want to just even want to go into the washroom. So whilst he was at Lintas, I was managing. He doesn't want you to leave him alone in the room. So stuff.
and
when that
in the process also I got to start a salon.
We didn't need
another
anybody
kid
to decide for us
and pushed me to
just
start.
decided, look, I'm staying
I've had
at
that
home
salon for 17 years. I'm
not going to give
sorry, my daughter has actually taken over. She's got the gift.
Wow.
So that was
we didn't,
why
go to school for it naturally. Yeah, so she has taken
make
over
sure
now.
the kids
so she does
and
that.
then we decided to work together.
To go be the I'm here with Ivan.
Wow, that's actually very interesting because I still remember Farmhouse back then, in the house, and I honestly didn't see that you were so involved, when we come. So I am actually surprised hearing that you were doing all the work in the background. I didn't see much of you.
You know, when we were cutting, actually, one of the things I did, I mentioned that
I see.
Every time you went to work, and you had to work the whole night,
was happening.
Sitting there, editing,
so
sitting for the videos to render. We used to stay the whole night.
In recent times,
when he's editing, I'm there with him, so I knew everything about Ivan used to do about his
eyes
work.
are not
one of the things I
communicating properly.
Satisfying my curiosity was the fact that I wanted a peace of mind.
You have said what you have to say several times
because he used to stay long hours.
It's not hitting home.
So I was
because children sometimes want to have their way.
When it comes to
what do you do?
I know where he's been, what he's done.
I'm asking you because you have been there from when they were toddlers and all that. Even the last one is in the university on his own.
It's all about
on her own. Sorry.
That's how.
So you've seen it all. What do you do?
I needed to, join with him. It made it easier. Then I took a short course on NAFT on production management.
Ask for something you can't get.
Added my accounting stuff.
In fact, you are in it for the long
term. Always and forever.
I tell you.
So that's where we are today. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so
I
would you say
questions I will ask you along that line?
But
let me come to Ivan. Ivan, so it's one thing having support
raising
from
the children have
that this is what my husband
pretty
does,
much easy,
and I'd like to support him.
No, it hasn't been.
It hasn't been one thing, and another thing now deciding that
it hasn't been right.
How did you
it hasn't been,
or how did you?
Because I think that if your eyes could be
from
now not just sitting on the flanks and knowing and understanding what I do, but you now being a part and all the support from, you know, the beading through to the salon and you having to go to NAFTU and all that. Now, didn't you at any point in time, especially so when you had to fully come to work with him, feel like you were losing yourself and not chasing your dreams? Because I'm sure you had dreams other than being in this art industry. Didn't you ever feel like you were losing yourself?
No, for some funny reason, I always thought of the whole family first before myself. I had found myself because I knew Ivan had helped me to find the giftings I had in me that I didn't even think I could develop. So for me, I saw it as an opportunity to give back, to make sure my family is whole. So my dreams per se, well, I'm already living it. I have a loving husband. We have beautiful kids. We have a business we are running together, which was the main aim. It wasn't a selfish thought on anybody's side. We're doing it together. So whatever the dream is, we're already living it. So anything else I wanted to do wasn't really priority. I mean, I find some of my friends asking me, how come I didn't do my master's and all of that? And I'm like, look, where I am, I'm living my dream already. And if God wants it to happen that way, so be it.
Yeah, I remember earlier on before we got into the conversation, I said, Auntie Katie, you're living the dream. Yes, that's so true. The children are grown. You're almost in an empty nest now. You come to work. By 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, thereabouts, you check out, you're not rushing to go and cook and all that. And yeah. So if you are just joining us, this is Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Edem Knight-Tay, and I'm having a very beautiful conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Quashigah. I'm not about to go into, you know, all that, Ivan Quashigah. If you don't know him, please Google his name. You don't know Katie Quashigah, please Google their names. But Ivan is, one of the best creative heads you can find in this country and around the world. I dare say that. If you don't remember anything at all, Things We Do for Love way back, the brain behind it. And today, it's YOLO. The young people love it. So if you don't remember anything at all, these two, that's where he finds himself. And I mean, think about all the big productions, the commercials, TV commercials, and a lot of them, he's the brain behind it. And I had to catch them up, today and have this conversation with them. I am particularly very curious about how the two of them decided to come and work together, because people have a lot of jitters when it comes to that, and we're wading into the areas of the jitters now. So to find out, like it or leave it, it's not a perfect journey, is it?
No, there's no journey
perfect. Exactly. And we won't say it's been smooth all through.
Somebody said, what if the mountain was smooth? You couldn't climb it.
Exactly. You need all those to be able to hold on to a stump here and there and climb it.
So,
Great. So I want to find out, again, in relation to the work. There are days that we will be upset.
Yeah.
There are days that there's tension, right? You probably, and it could be either ways, you probably have some, unresolved tension from home. And we still have to come here and sit around the table and have conversations and make decisions. Could be the other way around. Everybody is upset and then we couldn't reach a decision from the office and we have to go home. In times like that, how do you handle it, Ivan?
Well, I'm sure you know me from seeing me. You know I'm a very, very calm person.
Oh, you are?
Am I?
Tell me about it.
When I was working at Lintas, I used to be quite quick-tempered because I at that time we were trying a lot of things. We wanted things to happen.
Yeah, that's why I retorted you are.
I remember those days I could just close a shoot.
I know.
Somebody has annoyed me.
We've called it off.
Like I'm not shooting anymore. I don't feel like doing it. And then I leave. And then I come to set up Farmhouse Productions. And I quickly realized that if I close the shoot, I will pay for it.
The next day. Yeah.
I'll have to pay. It will cost you money. So I've become a bit more calm, maybe because I'm growing and I've become a bit more experienced.
Yeah.
And also, I need to give a lot of young people the opportunity to make their mistakes and learn from it. So I'm not as hot as I used to be those days. Yeah. In relation to working with her, because we have very separate things, she does the accounting and finance, and I do the creative bit. And hardly have we had any argument working together. Hardly. Maybe the silent war can go on, yeah, but the work would go on, and then I'm always the one to find the ground, to break the ice and make things cool. So yeah, but hardly, we've not really stretched things beyond what period is supposed to be like. You go over for days and things are not good between the two. No. And the other thing too is that we've come into this business as equals.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
In terms of even shareholding, in terms of understanding the respect you have for your though it's my field, I am very good at filmmaking and all those things, but I cannot ride over her that, hey, you don't know anything. No, she brings the part that I don't know into the business, and that is the finance part and all. And I am sure that if I were left alone to do this, I wouldn't have been able to do it this well. So I respect her contribution immensely, and that is why I'm sure that we've not really had frictions. And the same way I approach the work in terms of not being selfish about anything. The same way she approaches it, being very selfless about this thing. It's for us, it's something that we're doing it's fun. We find working together fun because my work takes me away for a long time, hours. And so if you get a chance to work together and you can spend a bit of the time whilst working together, why not do it? So that is so friction, it comes, like I said, if the mountain was smooth, you can climb it.
I think it, but why is it that he's the one who usually would break the ice? You said that once, and then he also said it.
I don't know how to break the ice. Luckily for me, God gave me a man who can break the ice. So you see, the perfections is perfected. God has a way of balancing it. He gives you what you don't have in your partner.
So if he doesn't come around, then you will be quiet?
No. Sometimes for some funny reason, everything just goes back to normal.
Obviously, if you are fighting, she would come and say, what would you eat? What would you like to eat? That is breaking the ice.
Okay.
you understand?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not like there's friction, so she won't do her duty. She always does it. So, I mean, that's her way of also coming close to you. So, yeah.
So the essence actually of trying to have this conversation with the two of you is also because you are in a very interesting and a very sensitive space where you meet a lot of people, especially you, Ivan, and interact with a lot of people. And there are I have met a lot of young people planning to get married and some who are married and are thinking along these same lines, that I have these expertise, my partner has these expertise, we're thinking of starting something together. Or you have had instances where maybe it's the woman who has even started doing something, the man is supporting in the background, but realizes that, look, this thing is really flourishing and I think we can do it together. They start, and then all of a sudden it crashes. They start, and all of a sudden you can't have that understanding and the joy with which you thought of going into it together. Did they not have conversations enough?
Were there certain considerations that they needed to put in place that they didn't? What really happens on the way? And for the people who are afraid to take such a step, what considerations must go into it? The bit about you knowing a lot of people, I also want to find out how you are able to manage that fine, like, you know, the fine lines between you come to work, even at home. I know, right? You're home, everybody is trooping there. We are all there. And consistently you are on the phone. How do you manage all of these and still keep that fine balance for your home? So I'd like us to come into that, chew on it a little bit, but let me remind our listeners that Amasha Partners and I Care, Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. Dano Milk, choose tasty milk, choose nourishment, choose Dano Milk. Dano Milk, go for it. They are sponsors on Home Affairs, and I'd like to say a very big thank you to you for supporting us, for believing in thriving homes. Thank you so, so much. All right, let me come back to my question. First will be about for the young couples who are planning to do this together. You have the set who have probably started and crashed. I'm wondering what happens. Is it that they do not ask the right questions? Are there considerations? What usually happens? Because yours has worked. And for people who are planning to make this decision, what considerations should they put in place before starting? Then we will come and talk about the outsiders and all that.
So, am I the one answering the question?
Okay, Auntie Katie might want to start.
I think she can start and then
you come in, yes.
Okay, for starters, when we started, I mentioned that I decided that it was for the best for the family. When you're not selfish about all your thoughts and the things you want in this life or your dreams, and you add on your family, think about them in the decision making, it works better. For me, I put everything that I thought I wanted as a dream on hold. In fact, for me now, it doesn't really matter because I think my dream is being lived now. And I think that it will be best for both couples to understand what the two of them want. Is it for just me? Because when you get married, it's not me alone. It's not me again. You have to think about it as a family, as you and your couple. So that every decision you are making, you have to think about how your spouse will feel. So it has to be one thing that the two of you make the decision together that this is what we want to do. And then understand that it is for both of you. It's not just for one person. You know, one person can have a dream and can decide to leave it and then run with the other person's dream because it's laudable, it's profitable, it will help the family. And that's what should be the main thing, the foundation for setting up together.
Great. And yes,
beyond the decision to want to work together, you'd also, every decision, you'd also have to think about what are you ready to give for that thing to work.
Okay.
What are you putting into it? And so you've decided to work together, but you have to put something into that decision or give life to that decision to work. And those are the things probably that you have to do. Either you forego certain things, whether you forego certain things like your temperament, you try and compromise more. You'd have to understand that you guys are in it for a long haul. That you see, you can decide that you can get married. You decide to work together, and the decision to work together can lead to your marriage breaking up. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because you then find out that things are not working between the two of you probably, and that can become the reason why you're not this thing. So you need to be very careful in deciding on getting into the work environment together. And when you do, you both have to decide to give something for it. You have to give up things. You have to take up things. You have to take a spirit of patience. You have to take up a spirit of understanding. You get what I'm saying? You have to have things that can help for you guys to realize your dreams. And I know of some people who feel that, okay, I'm doing more of the work than you, and so I deserve to earn more than you, or I deserve to do this more than you. And then it comes into play and everything just falls apart. It shouldn't be like that. It is an equal thing that you guys are doing, and you have to be selfless about doing it. It is for the two of you for forever. So why should you quarrel about your thefts and things like that? It becomes very difficult. You asked about meeting a lot of people. So how my work is such that you work with a lot of people, and a lot of people in terms of looks, in terms of all kinds of things. You have to find a way that you especially you working with your wife, you have to find a way that you don't offend your spouse. And you have to always be reassuring her and making her see that you are this thing. When people come for auditions, I always ask somebody from downstairs if I'm to see them, then the people must be in my office with me. Some of the staff must be around. Do you understand?
How so?
But because you put yourself in her shoes, and so when you do that, you know that, okay, if I were in her shoes and she does it this way, this is how I would feel. So why don't I do it this way in order for her to not? Do you understand? So you always have to be thinking about what impression you are creating in front of for your spouse. I know over the years she's come to see that, okay, it's all about the work. She understands it now even more than the way I do understand things. Yeah. So, and I think also that along the journey she's become very religious, and so the God factor too is very, very important. And so she's very prayerful. She's like the pastor in the house and makes sure that we are all,
all covered.
Spiritually covered. So that she's a very strong pillar behind everything that we do when it comes to spiritual warfare and all those things. She and then I support in that area. And then when it comes to the creative side, then I am leading and she's supporting. So we play different roles at any time that we find ourselves.
I see that you two seem really to be enjoying where you are now. I mean, am I right to say that? Yeah. You seem to be enjoying the space, even though it looks like... So are all the children gone?
Well, the middle one is doing her national service. She's in the house. She's still home. But the other
two are not around. Great. I will be back. We'll take a very short break at this point, but we'll come back to continue the conversation.
He comes home, he's exhausted. I know where he's at.
Vita is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, calcium, and iron for your baby's healthy growth. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. This advert is FDA approved.
And thank you so much for staying with us here on Home.
We want to build this empire together. And we see that happening a lot with the pastors, you know. Once you have a man of God, the spouse automatically is in the church with them. And if it is the woman, well, it's usually that way. Quite often it's the men who are leading and then the women come along and they play very strong support roles. But if it is not, you know, a religious organization and it is, you know, a regular work organization and you still want to work with your spouse, they have done it all and they're sharing the journey with us, so you want to come along. I picked up a few things, let me share those with you. Now, first, you will have to make that decision, and I dare say that the decision or the reason you made that decision will continuously have to guide you. You have to come to that point where you're making that decision. They told us that you do not have to be selfish. You will have to make sure that you're fusing the dreams together so you are not selfish. Now, you will also have to put into consideration each other's feelings along the lines. How do I feel about this? How do you feel about this? And make sure you are all on the same page. Bible says that can two walk together except they be agreed. And so if you don't agree and it is one person who is pushing and forcing and say, come and let's do it, come and let's do it, for all you care, you're likely to crash on the way. Now, what do you both have to give? What do you both have to give? It talks about sacrifices, and I even mentioned that. He also talked about the fact that you have to test your temperaments and see how your temperaments affect the work you're doing and put them into proper perspective. One of these days we'll be having the conversation again on the God-tested temperaments. You have temperaments, and a lot of people hide behind their temperaments and do things and they say it is my temperament. No, temperaments can be controlled, and God has given us the strength to do that. Now, you also have to make compromises. It's important that note that when you're on this journey, you will make compromises. Now, you also have to take up the spirit of patience, the spirit of understanding. The God factor is key. And one point Ivan also talked about very strongly is respect for your spouse, depending on where you find yourself, the people you meet, and what kinds of meetings you understand. If it means that there has to be somebody there, like you go to the hospitals, there is a doctor who is doing a critical examination, they always ensure that there is a nurse. Sometimes for your own good, so nobody comes to say that you harassed them, you know. So if it means that you will need a third person, even if it's not your spouse there, just for your own peace of mind and to assure your partner that I respect you and I think about how you would feel, he says that all of these things are very important to the success of that decision you may be making. But let me remind us that the rich taste of Dano milk makes a perfect combination with your tea, oats, gari soakings, cocoa, and many more to give you that great taste you've always desired. Dano milk is a rich source of natural protein and fortified with vitamin A. It has several other vitamins and essential nutrients that keeps you nourished and healthy every day. Dano milk is also rich in 1 protein, which nourishes and grows your muscles for health and strength. It contains iodine, which also nourishes the brain to maintain and improve brain function. It gives you brain power. And it has vitamin B12 that strengthens your immune system and keeps you healthy and strong. It contains calcium, and calcium gives you and your family strong bones and teeth. Choose Dano milk because 100% of our milk is sourced from our farms in Europe, so we control the entire production process to ensure that the milk that gets to you keeps its natural quality. Dano milk is natural. Dano milk comes in different variants: the Dano milk cool cow or plain powdered milk, Dano milk coffee 3-in-1, Dano milk chocolate 3-in-1, and Dano milk evaporated milk. Dano milk is affordable and in a shop near you. Choose tasty milk, choose nourishment, choose Dano milk. Dano milk, just go for it. And Yum Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, calcium, to aid in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and wheat, rice and wood variants, and 3 unique pack sizes. Talk about the 50 gram, 400 gram, 350 gram, and also the block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yumvita, a delicious way to grow. So let me turn back to Ivan and Katie here with me. So I want to find out also, raising the children. We have 3 of them along this journey. So we've done a lot of the work, but let's pry a little bit. 3 children, was it planned? Is it a decision? Was that what we decided to do from the beginning, or they're just God's gifts? Auntie Kate, you had the first one, you wanted to work. Second one, third one.
God's gifts.
You didn't plan to have 3. Oh, okay.
We just decided.
Yeah, I think that we knew that we wanted to have 2. But the third one was a gift.
And I think that's a good top up. It's a good top up. Yes. So let me find out, when it comes to, and it's another area that we struggle a lot. Yeah. I have that challenge, you know, agreeing on disciplinary measures for the children.
Yeah.
I talk about discipline, I'm not necessarily talking about beating, but how we both agree to raise the children, what methods of, punitive measures and disciplinary measures you want to put in place for the children. And for the longest time, you still realize that couples are different when it comes to these things. Yeah. How have you managed those?
Well, I come from a background where discipline is very, very strict. My dad was a military person, and but one thing about my dad was that I've never seen him use his hand on anybody.
Okay.
It was just the way he would look at you.
And that's it.
And what's probably, if he has to do something, then what he would say. And then that's it. So I think that is what I adopted. Fortunately, Kate also comes from a dad who also uses a similar method of probably look at you and talk to you, and then that's it. So that has been this thing. I don't think that we've hit our kids or done anything like that. It's more of she spends more time with the kids, and thank God we're working together. Now, one of the benefits of working together is that you can cover for each other. So because we knew the kids would have to be picked up just after 2 o'clock, so she comes in, does her work, and then she can go back. One of the reasons why she decided at the time to stay at home, it wasn't purely because she just wanted to be with the kids. Was because we came home one day. Remember, at that time, I picked her up from work around 2 o'clock. I just thought I should go home. Close early that day. So we went home, only to find our son at the time, just about a year old, in the house alone, standing at the window. And he had cried and the tears had dried.
Oh dear.
And so...
But he was left in the care of a help.
The help was not at home. And we got in just after 2, and we were there till about 5 before she came.
Are you serious?
So it meant that we wouldn't know, and and then I remembered that.
Oh my God!
The kid was always, clingy whenever
you're going out.
You wanted to step out, and when you're in the room with him and you want to to go into the washroom, he would follow you, he would hold you. He doesn't want you to leave him alone in the room. So when that happened, we didn't need anybody to decide for us that Kate just decided, look, I'm staying at home to look after my kids. I'm not going to give my kid to anybody to do anything to them.
Wow.
So that was why she stayed at home, and to make sure the kids are this thing. And then we decided to work together. And with the added benefit is that it gives you the opportunity to decide what to do. So she does her work quickly and then goes to pick them and takes them home and stays with them, make sure that they are properly taken care of. And that has been the tradition. And so when she's out, then I will cover up and make sure I do all the parts that I have to do.
I see. God knows, I mean, how often that was happening.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Auntie Kate, in cases where, in recent times you and I have been having conversations, right? In cases where the eyes are not communicating properly, and you have said what you have to say several times, and it still is not hitting home, because children sometimes want to have their way. What do you do? I'm asking you because you have been there from when they were toddlers and all that.
Yeah.
Even the last one is in the university on his own, you know, on her own, sorry. So you've seen it all. What do you do?
Catch privileges.
Okay.
Yeah, it will sink in. You ask for something, you can't get it until you do it right, until you listen and do it the way you're supposed to do it. No privilege for you.
Okay, so, but would you say that, because from what you and Ivan are saying, it's looking like raising the children have been pretty much easy.
It's not.
No, it
hasn't been?
It hasn't been.
It's, you mean Kekeli, Fafali and all that. Very easy.
Exactly. It hasn't been, right?
Exactly. No.
It hasn't been.
I mean,
because then I think that, look, if your eyes could do the talking.
Our kids are, they have their own voice. They are able to, you know, present their case. They are able to make sure they get what they want. Sometimes I sit there when they're having their arguments, and I'll just be smiling and looking at them like, at these people, because
look at these people.
These days, the kids they speak their mind. They tell you what and they argue out. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, but then you also have to, you know, a fine line. Show them the two situations.
So you have never had to beat any of them?
No. I think I must have done once.
Me too, once.
Yeah, once, and that was it. Yeah. And I think they remember the last time they told me I was embarrassed.
Oh.
You remember? I said yes, but you know, that's how, so I don't, no, we don't do that. We just talk
to them.
With them and let them understand.
But I want to believe that probably that decision you made to spend a bit more time with them, see them grow, and spend time with them will make it a bit easy when you have to deal with them.
Yeah,
it helps, right?
It helps, really helps.
But that's not to say that everybody should stop working and stay at home.
Well, when I advocate for one of the parents to stay, people keep telling me, you have flexible time. Everything is falling in place, so you can talk like that. But I'm like, sometimes you need to compromise. You know, it's difficult to train the child when they're older. When they're younger, at least, this is what it is. This is the tradition. This is how it's supposed to go. When they're older, just as Ivan was saying, they have a voice, they have a mind. They'll argue and give you 2001 reasons why. It has to be like this.
They have to go to Afro-Chela.
And in my house, Fafa is the lawyer for all of them.
Okay.
She will stand her ground, and she will, even if it's something they did wrong, she will take the fall for everybody.
Wow.
She will stand for everybody. She will let you understand.
But it's good. It pays off if you are able to do that.
It's the connection. If you have a good connection with the kids, and they know that whatever you are telling them, it's not because you want to be overly controlling. You tend to get them better.
Yeah.
And so it's more of being very close to them, being friends with them. Because I spend a lot of time working, I sometimes feel that I am not as connected as their mom is. But it's very good to have the two of you connected. But if the two of you can't be that connected. At least one of you must be very connected.
Because the benefit is for everybody.
For everybody, it's better that way than not at all.
One of my colleagues, we ever had a conversation like this, and then he said, look, because sometimes the daddies are not around, it's important that the mummies, we are very good PR managers for
it's very fathers,
so that you let them know that daddy is out there working and all that, you know. You don't say that daddy doesn't care and it's just me and all that. We find these things in some homes, you know.
Sometimes I take them along to my sets.
Okay.
And when I get a chance, like Yolo, Lono played a part in it. And Fafa also did.
I see.
And Kelly also comes on set to work with me. And in actual fact,
they all have it in them.
They are all, Kelly is doing film. So the long hours I spend, sometimes they do come. I remember when they were very, very young, I used to take them and allow them to say action. I say, you say it. And they used to be so excited to say action and cut, you know.
Oh my God.
So that's what I'm still doing my work, but I'm still connecting with them. Yeah. So that they feel that they are part of me some way, somehow. These are the little things that I was doing to take them along and make sure that you don't lose them.
Is marriage easy?
It's not.
It's not easy.
Because I mean, I'm listening to the two of you and I kind of feel like, okay, this is so cool and this is so easy. Like, it's not. What's making it so uneasy?
Always and forever. It's for the long haul.
Tell them.
So you might as well adapt. You might as well feed on your partners.
You need to know that everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and so you need to. Somebody said that I was watching something, and the person said that there's nothing like incompatibility. Because we are not compatible.
Yeah, I think I heard that yesterday as well.
We are individuals in our own right.
Exactly.
And the main thing is to compromise. To be together and understand that you are in for the long haul. And so things, as the days come and nights come, you would have challenges, and the challenges will come and go. All the time, you tell yourself tomorrow will come, and so
we're going to be here.
We're going to be here. So today's problem would be something that we would remember. That is, long ago this thing happened. But really, the main objective is to be together.
So you have never been, I mean, to that point where you go like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I've not.
Ivan, you know. I think it's about you.
Ivan, no, me, yes.
Oh, how?
Don't we all? Somewhere along the line, you just
go like, you don't
know how to. You are in the middle and you are confused, and sometimes it's your thoughts. You don't say it out loud, but then you look at the good part of it, all the best times you've had together. It consoles you, and then you move on with it. It happens.
I think so.
I'm not going to be.
When they are doing that, you say, "Hey, you are doing it all. You will do it."
Breaking news. I'm here forever.
I can't do it anymore. You say, "No, you will do it."
You do.
I think I'm there to just have a way around this thing, because I remember several times I'll tell Elia that I'm tired. I don't even understand where we are going with all of this. I don't know. And you go like, okay, you have thought about it, right? And you have told me you are tired. No problem. Let me also go and think about it. 2 years. We are still thinking about it. You know?
Yeah.
But I think, look, it's been beautiful. Let me also find out from you about the issue about companionship.
Yeah.
How, I mean, for you, it tells, you know, I mean, to the point where we're deciding that we want to spend a bit more time together, which is also one of the reasons you're working together. For couples out there, young couples, people who have done it and are following your steps and all that, how important is companionship? Because now a lot of people leave their partners behind.
I am attending a party here. My partner isn't coming with me. I'm going here. And especially so when it's a such that your partner can come.
Come along, yeah.
But we tend to leave them behind and think that, okay, you probably won't fit in and all that. So you find a lot of people who are married but single because they're never together. How important is companionship that you would want to, share with, couples out there? How has that helped to sustain you?
It's the grease. It's the grease that keeps the wheels rolling, isn't it? It's because you need to know that there's, what is a marriage without the companionship? That is what keeps everything working. You can't be in a relationship or in a marriage and then you don't have that kind of link between you. So companionship is very, very important. It's and you have to be very deliberate about it. Recently, because we work together and we see each other all the time, it does not mean that you don't make the effort to want to be romantic, because you can forget it. People say that, why do you campaign when you've already won the election? And you're in office. You have to keep campaigning. You understand, all the time. So when was I telling? Because the kids, we are at a point where a few things would have to be put on hold. I'm telling, when this thing is done, this is what we will be doing. We will be traveling here, we will do this here, we will do this. But before that, let's go and have dinner here, let's go and do this here, let's go and do that here. Because you still have to continue campaigning. You understand? And it is very, very important. And one of the things about working together is that because you are seeing each other every minute and you are so focused and you feel that your companion or your partner knows the problems that in the business.
They understand
everything. There's no money now. So we should cut all those things out. And in the process, you no longer, you are now working colleagues than married partners. Do you understand?
Yes,
so
I do.
You need to have that balance. And also taking work home. It's another very dangerous thing. Because you understand, you feel that, if I take the work to the house and I'm working for the two of us. But the next thing you notice is that you are drawing apart because every day you are on your work and you work in the office and then you come home and then you're doing the work. And you, in your mind, you think that, hey, she knows what I am doing. I'm doing it for us, so I have to do it.
Yeah.
You might also lose her as your this thing. You need to find time to blend the work and the relationship in a manner that you can enjoy both worlds.
Beautiful.
You can't leave it to chance. You have to be deliberate about it.
Interesting. Auntie Kate, sounds like you have a very romantic husband.
He has his ways.
Tell me about it.
It's secret, though.
I don't know.
Between the two of us.
I'm just giving you an example. I sat there.
I want to hear from
I sat there and I said, no. I mean, we can't be coming to work for months and we haven't gone out for dinner. I'm taking you out. Let's go.
Dinner.
Prepare, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went.
Go and dance for us.
Go and come back.
That's nice. That's nice.
You have to make time for that. Just as you used to make time when you were courting.
That's true.
You have to have, though the kids are there, these days they leave us at home. So they are out and we are home. But you also have to find your things that can make the two of you happy. Yeah.
That's interesting. Auntie Kate, we are wrapping up. Now, this issue about companionship and also about intimacy, and a lot of women, we have those issues. I am the one. So in your case, for instance, you come and take care of all the finances and, you know, paying people here and there and all that. You will have to leave early, go get the kids from school when they were still in school, get them from school, take home, go and cook and still take care of the home and everything. Naturally we get tired, don't we? And then the whole issue about companionship and intimacy, sometimes we tend to relegate it to the background. How have you managed that? And, you know, your final advice to young women and husbands who are listening.
Time is how you are pushing your time.
Okay.
I have the tendency of waking up at night. Like you said, I'm the watchwoman in my home. So I wake up at night. I do my praying, I do my Bible study, I send messages to people every day. I'd rather do it at that time when I'm not distracted, so that when day breaks, I have the time for my husband and for the children. Now the children are not there, so basically it's for him. One of the things I remember telling people who I know will call looking for me is, after 8, I don't pick calls.
Okay.
Because that's when my husband comes home and I have to have all the time for him. Just as he mentioned about bringing work home, I understand. When he's going in another direction, I draw his attention. So I decided some years back that we'll watch football together so that he won't be distracted with work. Watch CNN together, watch certain movies together. So that's the time we have together, so that the companionship bit is always sealed. We go away for the weekends, you know, to Kita, where we all both come from. I don't know the place too well. He knows it very well. So it gives us the opportunity to also explore, do things together. And like you said, we are deliberate about it. Sometimes, I remember this weekend, he wanted us to just drive out, go and see a new hotel in Tema, and to be true to myself, I was exhausted. Saturday, I go to the market by 7, I do my shopping 10, 11, I finish cooking. I was exhausted. And I decided I wasn't moving. I even asked, won't you go and do your hair? Won't you do it? So I'm tired. I said, no. Then he said, let's just drive and go. So he makes the effort to let us do things together. With going out and all of that, if he has to go somewhere and I have to go with him, and I feel like it, I'll go. If I don't, he understands. And that's how we've kept together. You know, together. If you understand who your husband is, I mean, you can allow him to go be out there for hours and he won't bag you that he's doing anything different from what he said he's going to do. And it comes with trust, understanding him, and giving him space. Give him space to be himself. Give him space to enjoy some of the things he used to do before he was with you. You know, it's very important because sometimes marriage can be boring. Sometimes it's one way. We wake up, we do the same things every day. When do you find time to do something for yourself? So when Ivan is at work and he's enjoying what he's doing, sometimes he brings work home. Sorry, I try not to intrude because he loves his work. He's passionate about it. This is one man who will finish the work before he thinks about the money because he wants its excellence, attention to detail. Interestingly, his last born is like that. He has to make it work before anything else happens. That is who he is. Why do I want to, bother him when he wants to be who he wants to be? I have to give him the space.
Especially so listening to him, he is also very conscious of it. So it makes it pretty easy.
Exactly.
You allow him, but he knows that when I have been allowed some room, it doesn't mean that
Thank you.
Exactly. Well, it's been so wonderful talking to the two of you. I don't know if you have any final words, any of you has any final words to put out there for couples before we go, but I deliberately tried for us not to talk about the details of the work. That's not the purpose of this conversation, No,
I think that is an interesting discussion, and there are things that we do that we are not quite aware of, sometimes your spouse can bring your attention to it. And it's very important to be sober and pay attention and think about it rather than to react and defend and say, oh, I am not looking on the phone too much. When you come home, and you are looking on the phone through the whole night and your wife is complaining, you should understand that it's something she has seen and wants you to change. So you have to be patient, you have to be understanding, you have to be humble, to know that you are both contributing into something very beautiful. And it is when you are genuine and selfless about your contribution into that thing that you can say that you've had a successful marriage.
Wow. This has been, one of my best conversations ever. This is what I am going to do. I'm going to create problems in my home with this conversation, because I'm going to have it, cut it into bits, keep sharing to whom it may concern. Just joking, but it's been very wonderful. Thank you, Ivan and Katie, for allowing us into your lives like this. Not too many people in your space will do this, because our lives are out there already, what we do and everything. So what's this talk about our private lives? But I know if you won't do it for anybody at all, you do it for me. And thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. And this has been Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. It's been a very interesting conversation I had with Ivan and Catherine Quashigah. We talked family, but with a lot of emphasis and focus on how couples, work together and they end up being very successful at it, like they have done. You come to the office here, Farmhouse, Auntie Kate's office is downstairs, Ivan's office is upstairs, and proper setup. It's not like, push and let me sit down. No, proper, setup. And I just sit back and I wonder, okay, creatives don't like too many meddling, I need room to think, I need room to be free, I need room to, and they still do it so beautifully. You want to listen to the whole conversation again and again, it will be on our YouTube at Joy 997. And before I go quickly, let me remind you that for your eye care challenges, you should look no further. Amasha Partners Limited and Eye Care, they have it all. Your eyes deserve the best care and quality designer eyeglasses, and Amasha Partners and Eye Care undertake the following services: supply of designer frames, sight testing, supply of lenses, sunglasses, contact lenses, ophthalmologist in attendance, and general treatment. You can locate them at La Opsa Trade Fair, Spinters, adjacent ICGC, before the Community 18 Junction, and then when you go to McCarthy Hill, they are around the Benjay Lodge. North Kanishi, they are at Swan Lake, opposite Greenhand Junction, and Achimota, you will find them Densua Plaza, second floor. When you go to Takrady, they are on the Axim Road, opposite the CBJ Bank. Ho, you will find them opposite Housing Junction, and in Kumasi, they are at the airport roundabout. Kolebu, you will find them at ECG, and in Koforidua, they are on the Central Hospital Road, and in Tema Community 1 inside the Meridian Plaza. Numbers to call 0302 939850 and 0302 778827. You can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'd like to say a very big thank you to the crew, everybody who has supported our production this morning. I say thank you. God bless you all. We're out next week. We come your way with another exciting conversation on Home Affairs. Bye-bye.
And thank you so much for staying with us here on Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM, also on Joy Prime Television. You can also watch it on Facebook at Joy 997 and also on YouTube. If you missed the beginning of this conversation, trust me, you've missed a bit, but you can still catch up on all these platforms so that you are able to learn, especially so for you who is planning to begin working together with your spouse. For a lot of people, or a lot of married people, that's the next thing. We want to build this empire together, and we see that happening a lot with the pastors. Once you have a man of God, the spouse automatically is in the church with them, And if it is the woman, well, it's usually that way. Quite often it's the men who are leading, and then the women come along and they play very strong support roles. But if it is not, you know, a religious organization, and it is, you know, a regular work organization, and you still want to work with your spouse, they have done it. They'll never make it, but just